My name is Sylvia King, and welcome to Conversations with a Humour Angle. Jannie and I have just been talking about toxic positivity, and we thought we would share some of our conversation with you. And the question we pondered was whether positive psychology encourages toxic positivity. I mean, what is toxic positivity? And also maybe is laughter yoga and the exercises we do in the pop-up laughter club and with the Humour Angle, is that maybe a bad thing to do? So Jannie, do you want to dive into what the topic?
Yes, because at the Humour Angle and at our pop-up laughter club, what we do is very much looking at different life situations, and then always kind of say, okay, we have a choice here. We can either, let's say, stay in a bad mood, or we can choose the other side, maybe look at things a bit more lightly and laugh about it eventually. And that is what we're trying to do. So trying to make this a possibility of options and training your mindset to see, is there probably a different choice in my reaction?
And I think that's the point that you're making, because I mean, positive psychology has been accused of being happyology and just blending out the negative for some time, which led to second wave positive psychology that said, well, no, I mean, we actually need to acknowledge that there is happiness and there is sadness. There are positive emotions and negative emotions. And yes, when things go wrong, of course we feel bad. But the choice we are making, or the choice we are talking about, is not about blending one out and trying to ignore the things that go wrong, the bad emotions, but to say, okay, I am feeling angry, sad, whatever it may be. But I can also choose to not only feel angry and sad and really ponder and go deep into that, and instead just say, okay, yes, I acknowledge that and I sit with it, but maybe I also see another direction coming up.
And that is exactly what we are training and trying to do. It's the behavior choice you have after you find out something, or if you accept your feelings, or if you, when you become aware even of, oh, something is not quite right here. And how would you say the pop-up laughter club will help you to create these new pathways? As we talk about, if we talk about neuroscience, we have these pathways. So how would the laughter club help?
Well, I think that is really a fascinating topic you were mentioning there, because, you know, neuroscience is all about the malleability of the brain, and we can always build new synapses and connections. And if we have an experience and the only way we know to deal with that experience is, I don't know, if we're angry, we are shouting at someone or whatever. If that is the only response we know, yeah, okay. But in the what we are trying to do at the Pop-Up Laughter Club and with the Humour Angle is to say, okay, that is one response, but maybe there is another response I could choose. And just starting to create new connections, new synapses. And the brain doesn't build these just by doing it once. The brain builds these if you do them again and again and again, and in variations.
Exactly. So our exercises is actually very much targeted around the mindset and around creating these new pathways. Can you give an example that from the outside eye might seem very silly? Why are they doing these exercises? Where we actually have thought there's a deeper meaning with this.
So one of the exercises we did at the Pop-Up Laughter Club, for example, was around the COVID measures. I'm sure you remember, Jannie, because we did variations thereof.
Yeah.
And it may seem silly to do hand wash exercises with laughter, or to do the social distancing, keeping 2 meters apart as a laughter exercise. But why are we doing that? Because the reason we decided to turn that into laughter exercise is simply because COVID creates fear. There is a virus out there. We don't know what to do. We could catch it. People could die. We can't see it. So there is a lot of fear involved. Now, what we have been trying to do with exercises like these is, yes, take some of the fear out by creating an exercise that can be fun. And yes, it can be silly to stand at the sink and laugh whilst you are washing your hands. But at the same time, it can create a new connection where we say, okay, we need to do these exercises so we can create a habit, but it doesn't need to come from fear. We can regulate the fear with the laughter and with the breathing that comes with the laughter. And I'm sure, Jannie, you can probably think of more examples too.
Of course I can. But I think what is important is that our audience, our members, they actually come back and say it helps. And even when, you know, you go into a situation and you already know probably this is something where I have fear or I get angry, but just that you have in the laughter club laughed about it when you were kind of outside the emotion, that actually triggers something when you're in the emotion, which is very interesting.
And actually, I was thinking of an example when you mentioned that. I remember I was once emceeing an event, and I was on stage. There was a large audience, I don't know, 50, 70 people. And my co-presenter, so I just started out, say, introducing the next segment, and suddenly my co-presenter started talking and going on about something totally different. And I stood there feeling just like an idiot, to be quite honest. And I thought, okay, there's nothing I can do about this. So I just decided to, an exercise we do at the Laughter Club, shrug and laugh.
Exactly. Yeah.
And see, the interesting thing was, you know, I thought, okay, I mean, I could have got upset. And I mean, I did think, I wish there was a hole in the floor that I could disappear in and, you know. But afterwards, people came up and said, wow, that was amazing how you handled that situation. I would just have died of shame or whatever. And you were just so cool and just laughed about it. And I thought, you have no idea how I felt inside, because that's how I felt inside. But I found a way to cope with it in the moment. And that's exactly what you described. We're creating a new habit, a new pathway that we can use if we need to.
Exactly. Which is why you should join the Laughter Club, actually.
Yes, absolutely. And if you don't have time to join the Laughter Club, then please, please, please follow us on Facebook, on YouTube, watch the videos and do the laughter exercises. And just start to develop that mindset that can just help you.
So thank you, Silvia, for this great conversation around laughter and why we need laughter and why we need to look at positive emotions, negative emotions in a more complex way than the either or. And yeah, what is more to say than join us for our next session and keep laughing. See you soon.
Bye. Bye.